Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Ocelot Penetrator, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is the second most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 74 votes. You can vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in Will It Off-Road by clicking on the link in the description down below. And now, I'll be honest that this isn't truly the second most voted for vehicle this week. We had a tie for first. And, well, I just couldn't get one of the vehicles to spawn. Well, okay, take that back. I did get one to spawn, and as I was on my way driving it from the city where I found it to out here in the mountains, there was just a bit of an issue with someone having a wanted level near me, causing lots of police to spawn, and the thing got absolutely trashed. So I'm going to keep looking for it. It's kind of one of the rarer vehicles that spawns, so if I can get it to spawn again, I will record it. If not, well, I'll just keep moving through the list until I finally see it. I am keeping my eyes open for it, though, and I'll get it recorded as soon as I can. But the Penetrator! I recorded this car almost a year ago, like November of last year. Well, I think right when it first came out. Is that when it came out? I don't know. But I love this car. It is quickly growing to be on my list of favorites. Oh, wow. Just got a bit of a jump there. Just because it's a great car. It is all-wheel drive. Good supercar with good speed, good handling. The only thing is, two issues with it off-roading. One, as you can see, it's really light, so anytime it gets air, it stays in the air because there's not a lot of weight to bring it back down. It also isn't the most graceful in its landings. It tends to really unsettle the car when it comes back down to the ground. And then number two is this car suffers from a lot of oversteer, especially here in the dirt. But also in the dirt, when you turn in, it's just all really sharp. I don't know how to really explain it. On the pavement, the steering is much more predictable. Here, it's really twitchy in the dirt. You could probably see a lot of times as I'm going up there like that. And, you know, I overcorrected just because it's really twitchy in the dirt. But it is a good car, and it's getting a good time. I mean, it's nothing to complain about. I mean, again, will it off-road? The series determines can it make it to the top of Mount Chilliad. Because it's a pretty brutal course, actually. It doesn't seem like it in the videos, but there are some really steep sections, and there's been a lot of vehicles that could not make this climb. This one's doing really well, but it's a supercar, so let's face it, not really going to be your first choice for off-roading. If in a pinch, however, you need it, it clearly can do it. And without a whole lot of drama. I mean, it's been relatively easy to get up. We're going to get a really good time here as we make the last little climb. And look at this. This thing just goes right up the side. No issue, no wheel spin, just right up. And we are up in 2 minutes, 51, almost 52 seconds. Will it off-road? Yes, it absolutely will. This makes it 6th in the Supers class and 17th overall. Comes in 10 seconds slower than the X80 Proto in Supers. Now we have to take it back down the mountain and see how it does in a controlled descent. And this is where you're going to see the issue from the car being really lightweight coming into play. There's going to be several times that we're going to hit a little jump that most cars will just kind of come right back down for and be settled and just keep moving forward. And this one struggles. Several areas, in fact, that happens in. It just wants to get in the air, and then when it does get in the air, as you can see, just that tiny little jump back there, the back end bounces all around. It's just not the most controllable, making it a little difficult as I take out a fence. Making it a little difficult to get back down the mountain. There we go. You can see, again, the back end is unsettled even in the mid-jump. Not the most controllable car mid-air. So it is a bit frustrating to have to do that. It does mean that we get a little bit longer of a descent time than we normally see, but it still does all right. I had to slow down there because I did not want to get air and wind up risking falling off the side of the mountain, because that happens a lot. You guys follow this series, you know. Over that uneven bit, you can see even there, the car really didn't want to do it. Coming up to our first little jump here, slowing way down. And that was fine, only because I dropped almost all the speed from the car. I mean, I nearly stopped because I knew that it wasn't going to make that jump really well. But then you can see some of that oversteer coming into play as I got a little too hard on the throttle. Next jump, really ugly landing. The left side wanted to be kicked up. Barely missed that hiker. She'll live to hike the mountain another day. Hike the mountain another day. English, Brandon. Nice flat jump there, but again, I slowed way down just to try to keep it under control. Any speed at all, this thing's not going to have a good landing. A little bit faster there. A pretty good landing, but again, not if I had been going full throttle there, that would have been a problem. But then you can see I hit just a little bump and the thing went flying. It's a struggle on the bumps. That's why I can't really recommend it for off-roading, even though, like I said, if in a pinch you have to do it, you'll be alright. Just because of the low clearance, watch out for the big rocks, because they will cause you to get high-centered. But since it's all-wheel drive, as long as you have some of the wheels on the ground, you should be alright. It's kind of like a 70-30 front-rear bias. So it is a predominantly rear-wheel drive car, though the front wheels are pulling about at 30%. Ooh, on two wheels there. That's kind of ugly. But we're back down on the asphalt where this car is much, much more at home. So I can get on the throttle a little bit heavier here, though I do still have to watch out for that oversteer. But we are down from Mount Chilliad, 2 minutes, 46, almost 47 seconds. So let's go back up to the top and see what happens for our damage descent. This is always the fun one, honestly. Nice first jump. Pretty good landing. Got a lot of air on that second jump. And an ass first landing, where now the car is just tumbling all around, just getting thrown around. Already looks like we've lost, well, we've lost a window for sure. We've lost a tail light. The car is getting pretty battered. I mean, for this being one of the newer vehicles, it does actually take a little bit of body damage. It's not like the cars that were in the game when it first released that, you know, they have somewhat realistic damage models, but you can see that these body panels are getting a little deformed. Just, you know, not as much as we'd like to see. And yes, I do mean that. I'd like to see the cars actually have better damage models. I really hope that when GTA 6 finally gets here in like the year 2030, when they're done milking GTA Online for shark cards, that they don't get lazy, that every car has better damage models when they release them. So let's face it, we know they're going to release car after car after car in DLC, because shark cards are never going to go away until gamers finally revolt and say no more microtransactions, game companies. But, well, it'll never happen because gamers want all the toys. Making a good run, though. It's surprisingly doing okay in the bumpy bits there. Though, well, that wasn't the best landing ever. But we are down 1 minute, 37 seconds. Let's take a look at our damage. We are missing both headlights and one taillight. The windshield and rear window are both gone. The hood won't close. The right door won't close. And there is minor body damage. So let's move on to our next vehicle, which is the HVY Barracks. This is the first most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 76 votes. And this one, like I mentioned earlier, did tie for first with another vehicle. Don't forget to go vote for the vehicles that you want to see by clicking on that link down in the description. Vote for you can vote for up to 3 at a time, but you can vote as many times as you want. This is not a democracy. If you've got the time, you can definitely rig the votes, which we saw last week with a truck with 3,000 and some odd votes. That still blows me away. So the Barracks, rear-wheel drive, massive ground clearance, lots of power on the low end, so you would think that's going to make this a really successful run. However, this thing is heavy. Unbelievably heavy, in fact. And because of that, it struggles to ever gain any speed, especially on the inclines. I mean, it's slow but steady, and that's fine. And as you just saw right there, it actually will downshift when you need it to, which a lot of the heavier vehicles, that's one of the reasons they can't make the climb, is they're always in the wrong gear. So your power band isn't where you need it to be. The Barracks doesn't seem to struggle for that, though. We're making progress. like I said, slow but steady. It doesn't seem, to be too upset to be doing any of this. Another good downshift just when I needed it, so we could keep moving forward. And no issues so far. A lot of the bigger vehicles have struggled by now. But that's all about to change as we get onto the really first steep section. I didn't carry enough speed through here, and so it just doesn't quite have that last little bit of grunt that it needs to get over that. So I'm going to back up. Going to back way up, though it takes me a while. I let it coast for a minute. And then we'll finally kick it into reverse here, as you can hear by the backup beeps. So going to back all the way up, bump into the rock, and then just go for it here. I'm not flooring it, but I am giving it quite a bit of gas so that we can have some more speed. Went a little wide there, but it did help us get around that section where we were struggling earlier. But we're going to immediately start hitting some struggles again, which is unfortunate because I really thought the barracks would just kind of be able to just do a slow but steady climb. I know I keep using that phrase, but that's how you describe the barracks. It is always slow. It is always steady. By the way, did you know you can fit 9 passengers in this thing? I didn't either until I was looking up whether it was all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Yeah, 9 passengers. Apparently 8 people can ride in the back. Though I don't think a passenger can ride up front, if I remember reading it right. I don't know. I was reading it earlier today on GTA Wiki. And I think they said that it was just 1 passenger in the cab, which is weird. You would think that you would get more back there, or up in the front. But look at that. We are struggling. And here it's an issue of trying to find a place where I can get the power high enough to get it going forward without heavy wheel spin. And so I'm going to go back a little bit and see if we can't get a good run up with just some more speed. But, ooh, it didn't want to stop. So we're kind of in a weird spot. That's going to cause it to slide backwards since it didn't have all the rear wheels on the ground. And we're going to get precariously close to the edge of the cliff behind us here. That one tire is almost wanting to hang off. And I don't have all 6 wheels, or yeah, all 4 wheels in the back on the ground. But it is putting the power down this time. It's just, I don't think it's enough. And some of the bigger vehicles struggle because of the really wide turning radius. They wind up going to the grass and the mud. You do get better traction by sticking to the trail. You just do. Once you have any wheel off to the side of the trail, they are dealing with slipperier ground. Slipperier? Is that a word? More slippery. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for, the combination of words. So the big vehicles struggle that way as well because they're so wide, it's hard to get them completely on the trail. At this point, I'm just hand braking to keep it from rolling backwards. Getting on the power, probably about, I'd say, 1/4 to 1/3 throttle, just to try to inch my way forward to see if maybe we can't do it. We've done that before, gotten all the way up this section by just inching forward. It took forever. And we're about halfway up, but it just can't seem to get past this next bit. And that's going to be the constant struggle here, is because now I'm getting wheel spin to try to get it over this next little section here. And it's just kind of discouraging. I really thought the barracks was going to be able to do this, but sadly, I don't think it's going to make it. I really don't. And so we're going to go ahead and call it DNF. But that doesn't mean that we can't still enjoy a damage descent with this. I do have a death match created where I can change out what vehicle is placed at the top of the mountain. And there's jets at the bottom of the mountain. You can see my buddy Rocket in one of those jets. So I can just grab a jet, fly to the top, parachute out, and grab what's at the top of the mountain waiting for me. There's a beautiful thunderstorm going. That was majestic in midair. Just absolutely beautiful. But wow, it's already getting beat up. It's already lost some windows. In fact, it's lost all its windows, I think. Yeah, it's lost all its windows. Looks like the headlights and taillights are all gone too. So this thing's already taking one hell of a beating. Of course, it's massive, so there's lots of surface area to make contact at the side of the mountain. Not exactly a fast damage descent, but then again, like I said, it's big, so it gets hung up on a lot of different things. Head first into a rock, but you know what? It's the barracks. They can just go over that rock. Fun fact about the barracks, if you drive backwards, you can drive over most cars, just like with the tank. Listen to that though, the engine already rattling. And we're not very far down the mountain and that engine's already rattling. Granted, this isn't an upgraded vehicle. You can't upgrade the barracks. So, you know, you just kind of have to deal with it as is. I think it's all the hood sliding down there in front of us. Ooh, lovely thunder. I love the thunderstorms in this game. They're very well done. So, just trying to make our way through, and we're going to come to a problem right here. Call it a DNF because it's stuck. You can see it glitching out. I never got it out of here. I tried and tried and tried. Actually, for about 5 minutes I tried until Rocket finally blew it up with the Hydra. But it's just stuck. It doesn't have enough power to pull itself back out of there. So it's DNF on the damage listed as well. Kind of disappointing from the barracks. And that's going to do it for this Ocelot Off-Road video. Don't forget to go vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in the next Ocelot Off-Road. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.